we are going to cover the reporting and dashboarding part today. It's a very important topic on Salesforce admin trail. We're going to try to do it together, but it's really straightforward. Reports and dashboards is, uh, you know, it's like for a business, how do you represent their data? They would send you their requirements, like which products they want to see as which were their top sellers, or which time frame they want to look at when the most products were sold. Or if you have a healthcare cloud or marketing cloud, they want to see when did this have the most patients check in. So let me see if we can go step by step. The first module is nothing but explanation of how you analyze data to create reports and dashboards. Okay. Before building a report, the trick is to take that question and ask follow-up questions. So for example, if your requester is coming to you, okay, I want to see all the products that were sold between the first quarter of last year. So you would say, okay, give me the time frame. Different companies have different quarters. Some of them have 3-month quarters. Some of them, have different definitions of quarters. So you would take their questions and go back to them for more questions. Just like it says there that you're going to follow up with more questions, what date range they're looking for. If they don't specify that they want first quarter, then you would go back, okay, give me a date range. You want it from Jan 1st to March 30th, then you can put that filter in the report. The other requirements would be which top sellers. If they have more than one top seller, then you would ask, okay, do you want me to filter for only specific top sellers? Like if you want to check if Walmart is one of the vendors who sells the most of your products, or do you want all of your vendors, Costco, Sam's, Walmart? So you're gonna not filter by vendor, but you're gonna include all the data that includes the vendors. And it also mentions here that you want to ask them if they want to see the inactive products or inactive, which have not been sold as much, not many sales in that category. For criteria, you're going to ask them if they're looking for opportunities or accounts. They want to see the report that's based on accounts, or their leads, opportunities, all the objects that we normally work with. We would also ask for the format, grouping. Do they want you to group that data in the form of products, or the rep who's been working with it?
You got it already, right?
Yep. So we're going to ask them, we're going to take the requirements and we're going to go back to them with follow-up questions to ask them what filters they want us to have in that report so that we can filter them according to their requirements. It's going to revolve around the criteria like report format, grouping, show. For example, if it's for opportunities, we're going to show all opportunities. Okay, so for example, if I don't want to go into these examples, you can read this later on, but when I get a request to create a report for my company, a regional sales analyst would come to me and would say, okay, can you create a report of all the closed won opportunities during last month? So I would create a report for all the opportunities. So your base report type would be for opportunities, not for accounts. And I would put a filter of the date of last month, like June 1st to June 30th. And I would ask him if he would want to see only the active opportunities, because opportunities have different stages as well. So you can read through this. For example, Roberto, the CEO, analyzing, it just shows that they have different departments. So for the regional sales analyst in my company, they would be analyzing the sales of the company. If it was a marketing person, they would ask me, okay, can I get a report that shows all the surveys that we sent out to our customers last month, for example? And they want to get a total number of customers that replied them back and said, okay, yes, we're going to go ahead with buying your products and all that fun stuff. For example, the CEO, that's the boss, she wants to see the big picture. She doesn't know how the products are being sold, but since she's managing everything, she wants to have the big picture, and she wants to know how many products were sold in the last 6 months, how many customers or vendors we lost. We want to look at the notes and we want to see why we lost them. So we want, when it comes to reports, we put all these filters on those reports so that it narrows it down for the big boss, for example, because she doesn't want you to give her the small examples, how many vendors we lost. But she wants to see, okay, 5% of the vendors were lost during the last 6 months. Why were they lost? Because they went to our competitor. So she wants to know the big picture. Okay, 5% they lost and they want to target them in the next quarter, for example. Okay, what is a report? In a simplest form, a report is a list of records, just like opportunities and accounts that meet the criteria you define. Which quarter you're looking at, which months you're looking at, which opportunities or accounts or objects you're looking at. You can pull a report for cases, contacts, opportunities, accounts, any object really. Anything in Salesforce can be pulled, users as well. So yeah, to get the data you need, you can filter, group, do math on records. It's like a dynamic Excel, I would say. You can put formula on it, but it's talking to the person who's trying to read the report for you when you run it. When Sita asked Maria which products are top sellers, Maria created a report that returned a list of all opportunities for products. Then she filtered to show only closed won opportunities for active products. Just like I gave an example of my regional analyst requesting a report. So for dashboards, a dashboard is a visual display of key metrics. I would say in a simple word, dashboard is a combination of more than 2 reports. So that way we can add different metrics, pie charts on it. You can add different graphs on it to give a better visualization of the data that your stakeholder is asking. Both reports and dashboards, they're stored in folders, and we're going to cover this later on, but folders control their visibility. So if you have a report that has closed won opportunities from last month, I don't want marketing seeing it. I want just the RSA team seeing it. So they have a specific role that's separate from the marketing role. So I would give them access to that folder only to the RSA team, not to the marketing team. And if I have a marketing report, it would be in the marketing dashboards or marketing reports folder. And that folder would be given access to that specific role and that specific user. We'll do this step by step, but in a nutshell, we give access to folders which have these reports in it. Report type is like a template that makes reporting easier. So if you're choosing a report type with opportunities and contacts, so we will be able to pull fields from both objects in that report type. We won't have any fields that are related to accounts in it because the report type only involves contacts that are related to the opportunities, and we can pull in the fields that are on the opportunity layouts, on the opportunity object, and the contacts that are linked to it. Okay, for example, Lincoln mentions Maria on Chatter to ask which cities have the most leads. Maria can find out by creating leads report based on the lead standard report type. So they're just like objects in reports as well. They're standard reports and custom report types. Standard reports are which come from with your org. Custom report types are what you create. For example, if you have an opportunity report, but you want to add some activity fields in it. So you're going to create a separate report type to accommodate those fields in it. Because if you choose or try to create an opportunities report, it will not have activity fields in it because it only has opportunity object fields in it. So you create separate custom report types, and the primary object would be your opportunities and your secondary object would be activities. And that way it will give you access to pull in look up to all the fields that are in that object. Okay. Oh, the quiz. So a dashboard is a list of records that meet the criteria you define, a visual display of key metrics and trends for records in your org, a list of key tasks, a view of your computer's memory usage. Pretty straightforward. A report type determines which fields and records are available for use when creating a report, who can access the report, the date range used for the report, colors available in the dashboard. And these are really straightforward. We're going to go to the next and see if they actually let us do something fun. Okay, create reports with report builder. I can go through this, I can read through this, but it is summarizing what I just told you. Just like you have up to 4 related objects and each can have with or without distinction. It's when you're creating a report type and you can have primary and secondary objects, which you can use to look up to the fields related to that object. Add filters, we can have different filter types I've mentioned. It would be helpful for you to read through this. Standard filters are applied by default to most objects. Different objects have different standard filters, but most objects include the standard filters like show me and date fields. So most of the standard report types would have these filters already there. Field filter is for reports, list views, workflow rules, and other areas of application. For each filter, set the field operator and value. I think you would better understand when we actually do the report. Cross filter, filter a report by child using with or without conditions, add subfilters, or further filter by fields on the child object. Row limit for tabular report. Row limit is used in tabular reports where we select the maximum number of rows to display. And then we choose the report, the field to sort it by. Okay, I am going to open this up so that we can actually do something. And I'm going to move this to the screen so that it's not blocking my way. Okay, where's my mouse? There it is. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to block this. And I'm going to go to this tab where it says reports. And I'm going to try to, okay, whatever I mentioned here for all the folders that we have for reports and dashboards, I know it's not mentioned in the trailhead, but I want to show you right here how we control the access for these. I'm going to click on share. I just want to show you how you can actually share it with users. It gives you an option to share with users, roles and subordinates, and public groups. Normally, we would go with users and I would just select, for example, one of these users which are available to me, and only these users will have access to Einstein bot reports. And no other user would have access to this folder because I only shared it with that specific role and user. Same goes with dashboards. Let me see. Yeah, dashboards has similar folders and you can control the visibility by, let me see if I can redo. So there's no dashboard dashboards created. We're going to create them, but you get the picture. We have different, you have a question?
So, I'm assuming if you're working in a company and you're sharing a dashboard, you would see like individual.
Yep. So you get three options. Either you share it by user. If your company has more than 500 users, we normally share to the specific role. But if my boss wants to see a specific dashboard that his whole team does not need to see, I would just share it with my boss. So we have both options. Either we share it with the role shares it with more than one person. But users, you're only sharing with that specific person and he can only access it and, run it. Okay, reports. Let's try to create a basic accounts report. You guys should follow behind me, not look at what I'm doing. Because it's easier when you do it. And what I'm doing, you might feel like you understand it, but unless you do it yourself, it won't make sense and you will forget. Even if you've done it before, you can do it again. Okay, so I'm going to click accounts and I'm going to click on start report. And this is what a basic report looks like. I want to click on filters and I only want to see my accounts. These are standard filters. These are always there in your reports. I am going to choose my accounts, but I have an option to see my team's accounts, all accounts, or I can filter by scope as well. But for now, let's try my accounts and let's see if I want to change it to all time. All time means it's going to show me all accounts that were created. And do you guys want to toggle this to blue so that as you make changes, it's going to refresh on its own and you don't have to wait for it. I'm going to check here if I can add a type. I have a type field and see what other requirements are there to add to this. In the filters pane, add filter to include a field filter, choosing first dropdown type. Okay, we want to filter this for, so what I'm doing here for filters, I'm looking for the field type to apply a criteria on it. What they want me to do is to look for all the account types that are direct. So I'm going to select this and click apply. If it's bigger, you're going to click Control minus sign, it's going to make it smaller and you're going to apply it. And you're going to click save. You can name it as direct customer accounts. Okay. Direct customer accounts. Did I spell this right? Direct customer accounts. And we want to see if they want it in a specific folder. They do not. Let's see, it's in the private reports. Private reports means whichever reports you're creating, only you can see them. I'm going to save them. So this is your very first report that you've created, and it shows you all the accounts that are owned by you for this, where type is equals to direct customer accounts, where customer is equals to direct, if you look at this column. So this was your very first simple report. Does anyone have any questions at this point? Let's see. Nope. Okay. Let's. Oh yeah. I'm gonna click on edit, and you see this. There are two tabs here. One is for outline and one is for filter. When I want to filter for a field, I would search for the field here. For example, I can search by billing address as well. But what we were looking for was type. So I'm going to remove this and let me show you again how it's done. I'm going to search for type. And your requirements in your challenge says that they want to see type where customer is all the accounts that have type equals to customer direct. And I'm going to apply. And you save and run. Did that make sense, Sister Naima? Did you say no? Okay. Okay, Sister Naima, when you click on edit, you see this toggle button here? Click on this. That way it will refresh your report every time you make a change. And now when you add the filter, it's going to refresh the report for you. Oh, let me, edit is right on top here. You don't have the edit button? Oh, let me see. Okay, run this. You see the edit button? Yeah. Yeah, click it. And then here is where you add filters. Search it by yeah, and okay. So since System Isba is helping Sister Naima and all of our is everyone else fine till here? You can ask questions, sister. You can stop us and we will stop for you and then we'll go forward.
Just started, so.
Okay. Okay. Let me go to the, let's create another report with a cross filter. What are cross filters? In the cross filter, if we have an accounts report, we can actually pull in the opportunity fields by using a cross filter option. So I'm going to click, I'm going to go really slow here. I'm going to click on new report. What do we do when we want to select an accounts report type? So if it's an account object, I'm going to select accounts report type and I'm going to click on start. Okay.
You want to start this one?
Do you?
Click on the post and then which part are you going to see?
Oh, it's just below the, when we created the basic report, the one right after is to create a cross filter, how you can pull in the fields from another object. I can do that again. Click on reports, click on new.
Go back to screen.
Oh yeah. Let me do it here. Trailhead. Not this one. I'm gonna go to admin beginner. And there's a module with reports and dashboards on this. The one at the bottom, this one. So we did this one. This had a simple quiz on it. I'm on this one. Create reports with report builder. Okay. So we did a basic report by, let me get to this one, customer direct, where we filtered the type of custom accounts for customer direct. And I'm going to show you how to do cross object filters where we have an account object and we can pull in the opportunities as well.
We have to name.
Yep, we have it has a requirement here that you have to save the report as direct customer accounts.
Did you have the filter value? Yes.
Mhm.
Did you have the filter value? No, okay, I'm just supposed to add the filter. You can open the report again. You can show you the filters. If you go to the filters. Yep, open it, open it, open it. And now, there's the filters, click edit. So the filters you have shown in my account, you got it, trigger date, all time. Filter, type, it was customer direct. So that's the thing. You have to check this one, check this one. This one. Yeah, now apply. Now the next one, yes, it was this. I don't think. Now, click on that. And then you can actually edit, and again, and actually save it.
Let me pause recording and then Okay, so we created a basic report here. What I'm going to do, we're just going to run it. We're going to create another report where we're going to apply a cross filter on it. I'm going to click on new report, and this is an accounts report as well. Start report. And I want to change it to all time as well. To create a date, range is going to be all time. Apply. And there we have our data to work with. If everyone is okay till now, I can show you what cross filter.
My accounts are all.
Yep. Mhm.
No. Right click on this. All. Is there a create date here? It's here and say all.
Okay, now we're going to click on cross filter. And cross filter is going to let me select another secondary object, like opportunities, for example. Oh, you see this tiny drop down here? So Naima, did you find it? Okay. Cross filter, and I'm going to go back to my requirements where it says that I'm going to select a child object from the secondary object drop down and search by its name. I'm going to select opportunities, for example. The fastest way, instead of scrolling down, just click on O and it's going to take you to all the objects that start with O, just to save time. Is everyone here with me till here? Okay, I'm going to apply. And now I'm going to see if it asks if we can add some opportunities here too. I'm going to select, for example, now I can select any field from opportunities. Right now, when it added accounts with opportunities, so now I can search, for example, stage of the opportunity. And I can filter the stage for, let's see, prospecting, qualification, needs analysis, perception, needs analysis, and value proposition. Let's see. There it is. I'm going to apply. And it's going to show me all the accounts with opportunities with these stages. Let me see where my mouse goes. Oh, I went with all opportunities where stage was equal to these four: needs analysis, prospecting, qualifications, value proposition. Did you find it? And we apply that. Okay, and I am going to save this. If I can find my mouse, I'm going to save as opportunities with early stage opportunities. I'm gonna save it. When you add a cross filter, now I selected stage. Yes, the state name is provided to you in the requirements, I would say. And I just copy pasted the name to change the name. And we save and run.
Copy paste.
Okay, we're gonna wait for System Naima to get there, and then we can look at filter logic.
Was this private reports?
Yep. Unless they specify that there's a specific folder you need to save in, we save it in private reports. Private reports means it's your own folder that's saving it to. You can always change that later on. You can click on Save As, and it's gonna give you an option to change the folder, to change the name, whatever you want to do. So anything can be changed later on as required by your stakeholder or your requester. Okay. Okay, so let's see if we can learn something about filter logic. Filter logic lets you apply filters based on conditions. So if Erin wants to see her accounts who are either direct customers or resellers of or some major solar components, filtering a standard accounts report takes Erin most of the way there. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for account owner equals to Erin. I thought it was someone new coming. Okay, account owner equals to Erin. And we can just use this here. And I'm going to look for filters and search for account owner. Account owner equals to Erin. Whoops. Donahue. I hope I spelled this correctly.
Copy paste.
Yeah, I should. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna go with all accounts. No records returned. I should create a new account, new report here. Not try to do it on the same. I'm gonna discard this because I don't want to save that. I'm gonna click on new report and click on accounts, start report. It's gonna be all time. And let's see, account owner. All accounts. Yeah. I think they're giving an example. Let's see. Yeah.
There shouldn't be any.
Let's see if it
It
says.
doesn't happen in Trailhead.
Yeah. Okay. Let
No,
me see if I can find an account.
yes, the account.
Let me see if I can find an account. And okay, let's search for our very own LCIC owner. But we won't have many account owners other than, LCIC here and this.
There won't
you know.
be any.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Let me go. Okay. If we had any data here, let me see if I can create new accounts, some sample accounts, and we can show you how. Let's see.
Oh my goodness, you are so bad. I'm going to.
Okay. Maybe next time we can have some dummy data here.
He's very nice to be on there. This is so good. Oh my goodness. He has a big heart. Why should
I'm gonna go to users.
For us and everybody else.
Okay, that. Go should have to make a switch.
I'm just gonna create a new user just so that we can show you how we can filter it.
Okay.
Let's see, Jane Doe.
You know, this was the mistake that I made earlier.
The car.
That used to go to
The car.
Then he made the account.
from the beginning because I made this account with the other
Mm-hmm.
The car
previous app.
Well, if it's not working for you to learn, you can always make dummy data. It's Drillhead. It's faster to just create dummy data than, standard user. And let's see, Jane Doe is there. What?
The email has to be very, you have to try a couple of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that.
I don't want to send it to a real Jane Doe, but let's see if it works. It works. Okay. Let's see if I can assign this account to Jane Doe. There she is. Change owner. And now when I go to that, oh, not here. Go to my reports. I'm going to open the already created, for example, this one. Most of the time you already have reports created and you can tweak it around to work for your advantage. Okay, let's see. I'm going to click all accounts here because I'm not just looking for LCIC accounts. And account owner equals to Jane Doe. I'm going to remove this. So we found one account with Jane Doe there. And if I can change accounts, I'm going to go to that test account and see if I can find the type and change it to okay. Edit. There we go. Customer direct. I go back to the report and I'm going to look for that type. Customer direct. And it shows up. Whatever changes you make on the account, it will automatically pop up in your report. That's why it's called a dynamic report. And as data is changed in your org, it will, of course, you're not going to create new reports every time you have new data. So it's going to update as you go, as your data is updated and your filters are used. Okay. Type equals channel partner. Let's see. Let me see if I can use this to our advantage and use a filter logic here. Account owner equals to LCIC. Let's see, add filter logic. Minus. So what it's doing is it is looking for both these conditions. Account owner equals to Jane Doe and equals where the type is equals to customer direct. If I were to put it 1 or 2, whoops. It's going to show me both. So it's not, this logic is not just, it's saying either 1 or 2. So it's going to show me all these records where it's Jane is the owner or Salesforce LCIC is the owner. So the logic here is for or, it's looking for both the conditions to be true. For and, it's a condition that it has to be, account owner should be Jane Doe and the type should be customer direct. Does that make sense? Or means it's going to look at all the conditions that the owner can be LCIC and Jane Doe. But when it's or, either one of them are true, it's going to show you the record. So in, yeah.
Does it allow you to have same time conditions?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just like a mathematical and or filter that we use. And we also use not, but I don't want to cover that right now because it might be confusing. But when you go forward and creating reports, there are actually so many filter logics that users use to build reports, and it actually makes it really, really easier. So now we come down to the challenge. I want each and every one of you to do that. I'm going to do it here as well, but I don't want you to copy or look at what I'm doing, because whatever we did on the top, it's going to be the same. They're just going to change the objects and, move around the fields or the filters. So you should do it, because when you do it, it's going to stick to your, memory. Maybe I should start after 5 minutes when you guys have started. And I'm going to pause the recording so that we can. You mean this report? Oh, yeah, just. So we are doing this challenge. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I just checked. They want us to add the fields here: lead owner, rating, and lead source. They're already there, so I don't need to add them. After that, it wants me to filter it for lead source equals to web. And then it wants me to save this report by the name web leads. So I'm going to save it as web leads. It's really, that's all about it. That's it. And you save it. आपने last time कर लिया होगा. That's why. Okay. इतनी देर लगाते हैं तो बोर होता है, वरना एरर फॉर्म दे देते हैं. आप लोगों का हो स्लो चल रहा है, वाकई मेरा भी स्लो चल रहा था भाई. बैक तो बहुत ही स्लो जा रहा है. You guys want to go to the next formats of the reports? Okay. Okay. You guys want to go to the next one? Okay. So we are covering report formats in this one. We have three report formats: tabular, summary, and matrix. Primary use case of tabular it just shows you the data in the form of a list. For summary, it will group, you can group and summarize data, and for matrix, it will group and summarize by rows and column. You will get more insight into it when we actually start doing a report. The tabular reports, the format is supported in dashboards, and also we can have bucket fields in tabular format as well. For summary reports, those are supported in dashboards, report charts, bucket fields, and formulas as well. Matrix is rarely used, but it depends the type of data that you have. It is supported in dashboards. It is report charts as well, bucket fields and formula as well. Okay, let's actually do one, and that will make more sense. Let's get an example of a tabular report. I'm going to click on new report, and let's make an opportunities report. Opportunities. And I'm going to click on start report. It already has all opportunities. For the opportunity status standard filter, I want to select open. This, I'm going to change it to open and apply. The third requirement that they have is for the date standard filter. I want to select created date and change it to all time. Created date, make sure it's not closed date. It should be created date equals to all time and apply. That will give us more than one record in the data. There we go. Okay. All time. Yep. So we don't only change this. When you read the requirements, it's saying that you have to change this as well. It was closed date before this. So you change it to created date and range to all time. And let's see. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna look if I have the opportunity name. Opportunity name. I already have opportunity name. Type. It's better to just go here and see. Do I have type here? I have type. They want us to add lead source. I have lead source. Amount. I have amount. Close date. Let's see. Yep, I have close date according to requirements. Close date. Next step. I have next step. Stage. Stage is there. Probability is there. It's better to just make sure everything is there. Fiscal period. Let's see. We have fiscal period. Do we have? Yeah, we have fiscal period. Then we need created date. Yep, it's there. Opportunity owner is there. Owner is there, right? Okay. And owner role and account name. Owner role and account name is there. Okay, great. And we're going to save it and name this report as open opportunities of this year. Save it. I'm going to copy the name. So let's see. This year. And if you see that it has a requirement here that the folder should not be private, you will have to save the report in public reports folder. So I'm going to click on select folder, click on all folders. Oh, there you go, public, and select folder. Did I go too fast here? We just selected the public folder. Okay. So it changed to public reports instead of private reports here. Previously, we were just adding it to our own folder. Save it, and then we run it. Run it. What you see here, this is an example of a tabular report. It's a form of a table. You see the columns of the fields. You see the rows with all the records. So it's most of the time, 70% of the time, you're dealing with tabular reports. It's easy to understand, but sometimes requirements do come in where you have to create summary reports, where you have to group with different fields. Okay, this is the first report that we created, and this is a tabular report. Let's try. Mhm.
By any chance, when you get to see this folder is in it. For example, now it was in a public.
Mhm.
If I forget by any chance, is there any way that I go back and
So when you're looking for any report in a public folder, if you know the name, you can search it here. But if it's in a private folder and you don't have access to it, you cannot search for it. It will not show you any record. So if I go into private reports, for example, I see direct customer accounts because I created those. But if you were a user in my org and you try to search for them, by looking in all reports, and if you don't have access to that, my reports, and I have not, because I can share my reports, I'll have to save it as public for you to be able to search it. If it's in a private folder, you cannot access it. But if it's in public, if you know the name, you'll be able to search for it.
what if I've done a mistake and it has to be a public folder?
Oh, you can always save as again and change it to a private and delete the one in the public folder.
So I can do that.
Yeah.
Leave the, private
Just
one.
make sure to save it first
Yeah.
in the private folder and then delete the one in the public folder. So this is in public, right? So I'm going to save as same. I mean, you can change the name to same name, and I'm going to move it to private folder, for example, to my own.
Okay, I just wanted to see this part. Okay. Can
Yeah.
edit part and then go back to the folders. And
Oh yeah, you can go back and do anything in Salesforce. That's why it's so user friendly. And then you delete the one in the public folder because everyone has access to it. Okay, this is the tabular example of a report. Let's create one for a summary report that we can group. We're going to click on a new report. And for summary example, they want us to select one for cases. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to click on all. I'm going to search for. Did you see what I just did? I clicked on all. You don't have to scroll down. That takes too much time. You just search cases. So whenever you have a request coming in from, a stakeholder, they would tell you which type of report they want, right? They want a report on cases. So you're going to search for cases, click on it, and you're going to start the report. Let's see. Okay. This is what we have right now. Let's see what other requirements that we have in place. They want to see all cases. That's already selected. For date field, select open date to all time. That's already selected. You're not going to make any changes to that. Add filter. We're going to look for cases where open equals to true. Yep. And we're going to apply that. So all the cases where the field open is checked, it's a pick list, it's selected. You see this? It's going to show you those cases here. And we want to make sure that we have these columns here, which are mentioned here. So do we have a case owner? We have a case owner, subject, date, time, age, open, closed, and account name. We have an account name. Okay. To make this report a summary report, you need to group rows. To group rows, first click. You're going to group them here because whichever row you want to group it by, you're going to drag it to the top. For this requirement, they want to group under group rows from the add group, select priority. So if that priority filter, the field is not already here, you're just going to search it here, priority. And it's going to filter it by priority. There's another way of doing it, which is not mentioned in the trailhead. You could have that data here as well. Priority. Right now, this is a tabular report. You want to make it a summary report. You're summarizing it by priority. There you go. Now you change your tabular report into a summary report by grouping it by priority, as you see in the trailhead. I'm going to stop here. Are there any questions? Yeah, it's really simple. Tabular report is in the form of a table. And summary report is exactly what its name says. We're summarizing it with one field, as in grouping it by a criteria. For example, here, right now it's a tabular report in the form of table. You see all the fields here with their records. If I were to change it to a summary report, I would group it by summary, summarize it by priority. So it's showing me all these accounts have low priority 3. So if it had more priorities like high or whichever pick list values they have, it's going to show you all those grouped by those. priorities. I mean, right now it's just showing me one. Let me see if it shows me more when I run it. Yeah, it's just showing me one.
The extra column, the left and the extra.
Yeah, yeah.
row.
So all accounts that have priority equals to low, it's going to group it together for low. And then if it had one for high, it's going to have another row here for high. And it's going to show you it had 5 records and it's going to show you those 5 together for high. That's why it's called a summary report. Oh yeah, you see this toggle here?
Yeah.
You just uncheck that. And now it's showing you total record count of priority that you have. If we had high and medium here as well, it's going to count the total records that were there for that priority, and it's going to show you in just like a pivot table. I don't know if you guys have worked with pivot tables. We will later on. Not in Salesforce, but that's a skill that you should have in Excel to pivot data. Okay. Do you want to save this? Let me see. They want us to save it as open cases all time. I'm going to save this as, let's see. And do they want it to be public? Yep, they want this to be in the public. By default, it will try to save it in your own folder since you are the creator. So you're going to select on public reports and save it. And we save this and we run it. And this is a summary report. Matrix reports, to be honest, I've never worked with matrix reports. It's a good thing that if I do it with you, I'll learn it too. Okay, let's create a new report for matrix. What they want it to be an opportunities report. Let's see, opportunities. It's already there. I'm going to start the report. And matrix reports allows us to group records both by row and by column. So in summary reports, we were just grouping it by rows. In matrix, we group it by rows and by columns. It will make more sense when we do it in front of you. I'm going to change. Do they want us to change all opportunities? Yes. And then status close date to all time. I'm going to change this so that we see more data. And they want us opportunity status closed one. So they don't want to see any, they only want to see closed one opportunities. And for the date filter, we already did that. Let's see. To summarize the report by sum of amount, click the amount column. Where is our amount? Yep. I think you should right click. Nope, not right click. Let me see if I can. Oops, no. Yeah, there we go. So we want to summarize it by sum. So what it's doing to summarize the report by sum of amount, click the amount column, then click summarize and click sum. Let's see. And when you scroll down, it's going to show you the sum of this column, right? So we are summarizing this column by summing it. Okay, to change the report format to matrix, first group rows by close month. We're going to go to outline and look for close month. Close month. Change the report format to matrix. To start grouping, click outline under group rows, close month. Okay, we're gonna look for close month here. Close month. And under columns, we're gonna look for add group, and I'm gonna look for type. Okay. You may want to hide the report details. I am going to report details would be row counts. Detail rows, grand total, stack summaries. Matrix reports are usually easiest concern to hide the report details of detail rows. So we're going to remove these. Normally, they just want the big numbers when it comes to matrix reports. And And we want to save it as opportunities by sum of amount. And it's going to be in the public folder. Yeah. It didn't specify, so you're just going to save it in your own private folder. Let's see. There we go. I am going to save it in private. Doesn't matter. We can always change the folder if it gives you another requirement later on during the challenge. So we looked at 3 types of reports: tabular, summary reports, and matrix reports. Tabular was just in the form of a table with all the datas and field records in rows and columns. Summary report was when we grouped it by one of the fields. Matrix was when we grouped by rows and columns. And it gives us a big picture in one go. The most common type of reports are tabular and summary. Matrix are, I guess, when you're creating a report for your manager or your boss, that's when we normally use it. So it has a challenge below it. It's going to be really easy. It just has like 2 steps. So you should do that. I'm going to run this. And you guys should attempt to do that next one after this. I'm going to stop recording. Pause recording. We're going to go into cases. Start report. What they want us to do is open date. Should be all time. The fields that we want are case owner, subject, account name, and group it by status. Yep, it means it's gonna be, because you have columns here. The only thing that you can group by is rows at this report, in this report. Yep, so it's gonna be default that you're grouping it by rows.
The one thing to remember here is that it first lets you group by rows, and that becomes a summary report. You have to group by at least one row to get to group by columns after that. And once you group by column, it becomes a third one.
Matrix report.
And by the way, the report type is called joint report. Two different personality. One and two, one or two. So, I don't know if you have it here.
Joint report, no.
Yeah.
It comes later on.
Exactly. So that's one can go on the phone. Like right now, there's a contact report. You want a contact report, but depending on how you this, you can do it. And add it in sorry. So yeah, it's a mining tool. Yeah, a lot of do we have a module on that?
I think it comes later on because I don't recall doing it here. Here, they're just teaching them basic report types. Joint reports come later on when you have, I mean, more than 10 records of data. You're joining 2 objects with different fields. So you're going to see stages of opportunities, but you're going to see different stages of accounts. But we'll get, I mean, a little advance in the stage, you'll see them. Okay, dashboards. I love dashboards.
We're doing it now.
What do you guys think?
20 minutes.
Let's do a basic dashboard. Do you guys? आप कर पाएं पिछला वाला? कर लिया? Okay, great. आप क्या फरमा रहे हैं? Okay, never mind. No, it's not. It's not. Okay. Or eat everyone's dinner. Okay. Okay. I mean, I won't follow the trail. Let's just show you what a dashboard is. I'm gonna, let's see, does it let me change the name? Sales dashboard. And Similarly, in dashboards as well, it gives you an option to be in the folder of private dashboards or public dashboards. Right now, we're going to just leave it in a private dashboard. This is your canvas. You can add components here. Components are different reports. So I'm going to click here. And here it shows me all the reports that I just created. So I can, let me see if I can select, does it? Yeah. Let me see if it lets me. You can't hear me? Oh, wait. Do you want me to start from the beginning? So that's okay. Okay. Just like we had a reports tab, I went to dashboards tab and I created this new dashboard and I saved it in my private folder, just like a report. This is like, it's empty right now. I'm going to click on edit. I'm not going to follow the trail. I'm just going to show you how you can add different reports and add charts to them to visualize the data. For example, I just add case status here and it gives me an option to display it as a bar, vertical. I love these. That's just me. I like to play around with these, but it depends. When you have a dashboard request, they're going to tell you what they want to see. If they want to see it in the form of a line chart, or they want to see, this is called, I think, a funnel chart. And then there's also a table chart that shows just like your report. So it depends what your data, shows your dashboard record better. So I feel like this is better because it shows me there are 3 new cases and 23 closed cases. Does it ask me to do anything else? Let me check this.
For those doing it for the first time, the dashboard component that we add, it has to be a report that we have already created.
Yep.
Or it's already there. We cannot really start drawing here. Okay, so it has to be some report that was created by you before.
Okay, so it's in this, it's asking me to create a new report. I'll do that later on. But this is how you add a component in a dashboard. You can make it bigger or smaller. You can change the color of it. You can edit this and you can go back to this and you can change the format of the chart. You can change whatever if they come back. Okay, there are also ranges here. Display units just shows you the number. If you want to show percentages, it's going to show you percentages. It's going to show you range. That really depends on the request that you have coming in. We normally leave this as requested as the requests come in. And subtitle is, you can test, for example, and footer will show on the bottom of the test too. Let's see how it shows up. I can change the color to this and let's see. And you see that header changed to test and the footer changed to test 2. It changed the color. So you can go crazy with the dashboards to make it, make it look pretty. Okay. So what it's making me do is create an all leads report that we can pull in here and change it to a bar chart. Let's just do the challenge, in fact. Okay. They want me to create a new report and they want it to be an opportunities report. Let's see, opportunities report. Oops, there we go. Let me see, okay, yeah. Opportunities report, and they want me to change the close date to all time. I'm gonna change it to all time so that we have more records. Type is opportunities. Fields are opportunity name and opportunity owner. And we don't need other fields. So I'm gonna leave opportunity name and owner here. I'm gonna remove all the others because you don't need data that's not requested. So it's better to just have it to the point. It's copied. I'm gonna remove that opportunity name, opportunity owner. So I'm gonna remove all the other fields. You can always add them later on. And many times the stakeholders would come back to you that, okay, can you add the close date of the opportunity? You can always just add it and save it and they'll see that change on their side. They want to change it stage, group it by stage. So as I told you, you can drag and drop it here, or you can close this and you can change it to stage here. And I want to change this to save it as opportunity stages. Opportunity stages. And they want to save it. I just save it anywhere. So it's going to stay in private reports. Okay. Now I'm going to create a dashboard.
Maybe one thing you might have seen by now is that in order to have a chart, you have to have at least a summary report. With a tabular report, you cannot have a chart.
Yeah. Mm.
So if it's a tabular report, the only thing you can get is when she was showing the chart, the table, that's all you can get. You have to have at least one group to
Yeah.
make it look like the charts that Robin.
Otherwise, how will it compare the data? Okay, so they want us to create a dashboard by the name of big deals. And does they want it to be, they didn't mention, so I'll leave it in private dashboards. And now I'm going to pull in that report here. Opportunity stages, select. They want it to be a donor chart. I'm going to select the donor chart. I'm going to see if they want anything else. Report is opportunity stages. Title is opportunity stages. So I'm going to scroll down and look for the title. Is that the title? Oh, we already have the title. It picked it up from the report. And I'm going to save it. I'm going to add it. I'm going to save it. इसको भी भूख लगी हमें भूख लगी. And this right now, whatever its numbers is showing you, this will change. It's a, as these records change, as these numbers change, because, it's a report. As the new records are added, this changes. That's why it's really helpful. And normally you just create one dashboard and people can use it as records and opportunities change. Okay, let me see. I don't know if you guys are following me, but you should try to create this dashboard on your own. Dashboard is simple representation of the reports that you created. You can add different charts on it as requested by your stakeholder. You don't select on your own, otherwise they will come back to you to make those changes. So you have to finish this. We have 10 minutes left. It just takes 5 minutes.
Are you still recording?
Yes, I'm going to close it now.